Hello there, lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news at 19:30 hours. Today, the 2nd of June in the year 2024. Let's take a look at the headlines. Fire raises 7 shops at Green Market in MONGU district. President HICHILEMA urged to take lead in promoting peace. UPND condemns attacks on ZESCO MD and engineer MAPANI. And in international news, ANC says RAMAPHOSA will not step down for the sake of a coalition. And in sports news this evening, FAR's Northern Province Awards Gala honors 38 sports personalities. These and many more stories coming up after the break.
Attention, attention, attention. Prime land in Ibex Hill, Kablonga, Lusaka East on sale. 1 acre and 2 acres. Contact us on +260 972 300 300 or +260 962 965 883. Only serious buyers needed.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Camnet TV News. With the news in detail, my name is Tapelo Joe Smata. Tragedy has struck in the early hours of Sunday morning in MONGU district of Western Province Town Center as a devastating fire swept through Green Market, leaving a trail of destruction and financial ruin in its wake. The blaze, which gutted 7 shops and destroyed goods worth of millions of kwacha, has left shop owners like Charles Lubinda appealing to government for urgent assistance. Meanwhile, Kanyonyo Ward councillor who rushed to a scene confirmed the loss of properties and advised marketeers on the importance of fire safety and responsible appliance use. More in the following report.
In MONGU's Green Market have been gutted by fire, destroying goods worth millions of kwacha. Shop owners, including Charles Lubinda, are appealing to the government for support as they have lost their livelihood. Lubinda depended on his shop for his living, as now he has nowhere to start from.
Mani mashopu wa mamwa na sasa nilikuswala mulimo ninakakunda bingongolo kugala kuselaela mwate baba fabricate abayo kupatwana babele mu flow kwalikaza zebaeza kupani kwa muso ubone hati pali mota zabona.
The fire is believed to have started between 23 hours last night and this morning around 03 hours. As of 07, some shops were still burning and people were trying to put out the fire using buckets of water as the fire brigade was nowhere to be found. Those spoken to have accused the MONGU Municipal Council of failing to send the fire brigade to quench the fire.
Please, ababe kukotina alert ikaza simyeha azeni sina kuyangela kambe nibaiswa bukaufu kambe bateni unolubona kuli department ya fire brigade aitusiwa kwati inanuhe kwateni nge mwamungu ikaza simyeha
imasho kwa la kuli kialu na ba yupi kwa jela mashere wika hawa ne ukupa kwa muso kuli kambe sichaba kufa sikoni kubonela kwateni kuli atwisi baba la kwateni fandi kushere ngoto ngoto bala kulakusa mali business zabona kuli bazele pili musebenzi wabona.
Kanyonyo Ward Councillor Tapalo confirmed the development and appealed to the community to switch off appliances whenever the power goes off to avoid the loss of properties.
Only encouragement that it has happened. My word of appeal is that we need to be very careful in the manner we use our facilities. To switch off the power every time we do so that in future we avoid such instances.
The area councillor is urging those who lost properties to apply for assistance from the Constituency Development Fund.
That is applying for our through savings fund, so that we can again start, especially youths, to apply.
Musia Wakabira, Camnet News in MONGU district of Western Province.
From Western Province and now to Lusaka in the Central Business District, where the Seventh-day Adventist Church has taken to the streets to promote cleanliness and support government's efforts to keep the city tidy. In a community service cleaning exercise in the Central Business District, CBD, the Church's Youth Ministries Department demonstrated their commitment to supplementing government efforts, with representatives Christopher Shabolala and Miriam Namomba emphasizing the importance of cleanliness at the church role in promoting it as a virtue to godliness. More in the following report.
The Seventh-day Adventist Lusaka Mission has Sunday 2nd June 2024 cleaned the Central Business District as part of their community service program. The cleaning exercise comprised both young and old from all 27 districts in Lusaka. Speaking during the exercise, Miriam Nambole has advised other denominations to participate in the cleaning activities to improve sanitation in the city.
Lusaka conference. So tinabwera naganizo imozi kuti tisevenzere limozi tikline town yatu kuoneke bwino, so that vopita vaziona kuti town ioneka bwanji, ioneka ya udongo. So vazimuna vana vachichepere na isazimai vogwira ntchito mwanthanzi. Vana va Mulungu, we want good health. Health iyambira pamene tipita na pamene tichoka na pamene tisevenzera. I town yatu ngati yaoneka bwino bwino na vopita vazaona ti Lusaka is clean than any other city. So tipemba na mipingo zinango tizisevenzera limozi kuti naveve vabwerako na venango vabwerako.
Church, our main role is to complement government efforts to ensure that whatever government is doing, we are also there to put our hand. It's very imperative that we live in an environment that is free from all forms of dirty, as you are aware that cleanliness is next to godliness.
And Sunrise Mission District Evangelist Handondo has called on the Lusaka City Council to enforce sanity in the compounds, especially unlicensed stores selling alcohol to young adults.
Mwana senzo pezeka muba under 18 years inalila mura yakuti nishu wakanyala mura ya ziko, but these days we found lika mukatuma groceries mwamenti peza pakudya. We need sanity in our nation. We need the cleanliness. Vintu vamene tienti vifake muma position vamene viene kira upeze kamo. But council they have got a lot to do. Kuti tisilizise even this crime ameti dandaula. It's because of we are carelessness somehow.
Meanwhile, the rest of the team expressed the need for a clean environment, especially in Lusaka.
We're keeping this place clean so that we should be happy for all of us to live in. I think cleanliness next to godliness, like we all know, and so as a result, I think that we should put hands together and make this place a better place for us to live in. 65 years, but I've come to wait to see that this is a very good plan. Poverty, town yatu, yoneke clean, na mpingo watu, uli na maganizo abwino wosunga bantu, poverty bakasinkala, bali clean.
Wamene baenda wamesi bamvera. Ata achapu chitae. Sono, lelo nacherela exact 7:30 ni mtao. Tifuka cho kondela kubera kukiri na mtao ni hapo. Town hatu kari clean.
Kuli benango bamene sibana kwanise kubwela. Bafunika na beve kuzipangira uklini teka. nga tukuliva mene ukudi wagula banana please sakira pena ngupoendo otayaka ichikamba cha banana even inshaba noti kwembegeza che kuti bakansoba zabwela basebenze iyayi cheti 70 pamozi ziko ni atu matenda yakabwela yazabwelela izetonse
nawa ya mvula muza kumangala kolera so ni example cha yakuti at least each and every one ine pale nili pano bali neneka mfuka na kunzilirapo kama kuti pamene nkala pasaidi bafuka pangara green.
The Seventh-day Adventist Lusaka Mission, also known as Lusaka Conference, is a subsidiary of the Southern Zambia Union Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. It was established on December 4th, 2012, with 176,000 members and covers parts of the Central and Lusaka provinces of Zambia. Cherish Siwote, for Camnet News, Lusaka.
From Lusaka Business District, CBD, to Monze, where a youth, Victor Cello, has called upon church mother bodies to speak out against divisive statements that pose a threat to national unity. Mr. Cello says the churches have a crucial role to play in fostering these values. Cello has urged the church to condemn individuals who seek to sow seeds of discord and division within the country.
The church plays an important role in promoting peace, love, and unity. We have heard the President of the Republic of Zambia, President HICHILEMA, doing the same wherever he goes. Therefore, whoever stands or whichever grouping that stands to divide us, we should jump up in high spirit to condemn them. The church should condemn those with an agenda of dividing us. We come from different walks of life, different backgrounds. When we unite in this manner, it is good and it is receivable before our Lord. Therefore, members, pray for our leaders, pray for the government, pray for our civic leaders, and pray for political parties also. Having said that, because we are here to build, I and my beautiful daughter, Gracia, we managed to put something, and we are going to contribute at 20,000. I was supposed to be here with my friends. The unfortunate part is that they are outside the country. Council Siakamwi, Bernard Zulu, I served them their invitations. They will channel their contributions.
Presence of God International Overseer Apostle Christopher Kunda has urged President HICHILEMA to take the lead in uniting the country. In an interview with Camnet News, Apostle Kunda warns that the current political climate is brewing animosity among citizens. Apostle Kunda has cautioned politicians against making tribal remarks, citing the potential harm it could cause to the younger generation. He has since called on religious leaders to speak out and guide politicians towards promoting peace and unity. More in the following report.
Lusaka clergyman has called on all women and men of God to take their place in society and advise politicians in the country following the continued issuance of hateful and tribal remarks from various political groups. In an interview, Presence of God International Overseer Apostle Christopher Kunda says the clergy must speak the truth, especially in these times, so as to safeguard the peace in the country. He has also urged Zambians to hold on to their faith and pray for God's intervention in everything the country is currently facing.
All the men of God that means well for this country, this is the time to speak out. This is the time to advise this people. This is the time we need to be strong, and above all, we need the hand of God in our lives. What I can say to the Zambian people, keep your faith in God. As you keep your faith in God, the Bible says, for his anger endureth only for the moment, and his favor is for life. Weeping may endure only for the night, but joy comes in the morning, no matter how dark it can be. I believe that our nation will rise again.
Apostle Kunda has further called on the head of state, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to unite the country as he has the powers to put an end to the situation the country is currently facing.
Celebrating 60 years of our independence, this is the time that we must be united. President Hakainde has the responsibility to unite this country. Right now we can talk about the relationship between the president and the former head of state, Mr. Edgar Chagwalungu. Today the one who have more muscles, who have more strength, is the current president. He's supposed to reach out to the former head of states and they find a way that they can move together, and also to listen the consent from the former president. But what we are saying, we are not saying that. So we are saying, our president, President HH, you have the responsibility to unite this country.
Cherish Sivote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The governing United Party for National Development, UPND, has condemned the recent attacks on ZESCO Limited Managing Director, Engineer Victor MAPANI, and appealed to the public to refrain from destructive behavior fueled by bias and personal agendas. At a media briefing on Sunday, governing UPND National Labour and Social Security Chairperson, Godfrey Bene, defended Engineer MAPANI's competence and professionalism, stating that his team has brought much needed sanity in the energy sector. He has accused those seeking the removal of Engineer MAPANI as being motivated by corruption and personal interests. More in the following report.
The United Party for National Development, Labour and Social Security Chairperson, Godfrey Bene, says the UPND are not in support of the scheme to remove Engineer Victor MAPANI as ZESCO's managing director. Speaking at the press briefing, Mr. Bene says Engineer MAPANI has demonstrated high levels of competence and shares the vision of the party's manifesto, which is transforming the energy sector. He adds that in the 2 years Engineer MAPANI has worked with his ZESCO team, the utility company has reduced its debt stock of 1.8 billion as of December 2021 to 580 million in 2024.
Unfortunately, we have as a nation been engrossed in the bring him down syndrome at the expense of nurturing meritocracy and professionalism. This syndrome has not spared key institutions such as ZESCO Limited, where individuals have been targeted. Value system of prudent management, Engineer Victor MAPANI and his team at the power utility company had a debt stock of 1.8 billion as at December 2021, which has to date been significantly reduced to $580 million.
He further says the social media campaign against Engineer MAPANI and those perceived to be his relatives is malicious and should be stopped as it intends to destabilize ZESCO operations.
Including ZESCO, who got their employment through their political connections in previous governments, but have been allowed to work. And this demonstrates so long they have the competence to work. The UPND government shall not stigmatize any workers who deserve to work and earn a living, because our focus is to deliver this country to prosperity with the participation of its citizens.
Meanwhile, UPND Deputy Media Director Chelo Katambo has called on party structures to regroup and deal with wrong elements that have infiltrated the party. He says the behavior from youth in Mandevu was not sanctioned by the party and the lawlessness of individuals will be handled internally.
Our structure to rise to the occasion and make sure that if there are any areas of infiltration, can we make sure that those infiltrations are removed from our structures? We are not saying go and cause havoc in the communities, no. But can we identify areas of infiltration? Can we identify areas where we feel we are being targeted? Because at the end of the day, whatever happens, the blame will come to the UPND. And that is what the opposition wants. So that the UPND is blamed for things that they of themselves don't know. We are a very law-abiding party. We do not sanction lawlessness. We did not sanction the lawlessness that was at stake. We did not sanction the lawlessness that was there yesterday. And we will not sanction any kind of lawlessness.
Cherish Siboti for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Still in political news, Patriots for Economic Progress President Sean Tembo has demanded the immediate arrest of State House officials implicated in the alleged abduction of Petaoke Member of Parliament Emmanuel J. Banda. The opposition leader has criticized the police for their slow response to the matter, urging them to take action as the public has lost faith in a police service seemingly driven by political bias rather than a commitment to justice.
We are very alarmed to learn that Honorable Emmanuel J.J. Banda named State House officials, Mr. Preston Hamasaka and Mr. Levin Ngoma, together with the UPND Deputy Youth Chairman, Mr. Trevor Mwinde, as his abductors, as revealed by his lawyer, Mr. Sakwiwa Sikota, State Counsel. We are further alarmed that instead of arresting the named three abductors, the Zambia Police Service has instead decided to arrest the abducted person, Honorable J.J. Banda, for an alleged offense relating to an incident that happened more than 5 years ago, and which the courts already dealt with and disposed of. From our standpoint, the police are trying to create a diversion, and this in effect adds credence to Mr. Banda's allegation that Preston Hamasaka, Levin Ngoma, and Trevor Mwinde are the people who were involved in his abduction. As Patriots for Economic Progress, we call upon the Zambia Police Service to stop playing these silly games regarding the issue of Honorable J.J. Banda's abduction.
Ikeleng District Commissioner Andrew Mpiakula has commended the Zambia Research Institute, Zari Mutanda, for promoting new varieties of improved cassava and orange-fleshed sweet potatoes in the area and other districts of Northwestern Province. Mr. Mpiakula states that government has mandated Zari to conduct nationwide soil testing and mapping in order to create a national soil map and provide fertilizer recommendations for each soil type. He further urged farmers to adopt new agricultural technologies in order to maintain productivity. The District Commissioner made these remarks during a field day on improved cassava variety and orange-fleshed sweet potato held in Sahina Agriculture Camp in Ikeleng District. And Agriculture Research Officer from Mutanda, Gloria Siluchali, emphasized the importance of establishing demonstrated fields in the district to promote crop diversification through the cultivation of improved cassava and orange-fleshed sweet potatoes, which are highly nutritious and early maturing. More in the following report.
Government, through Zambia Agriculture Research Institute, ZARI, is promoting crop diversification through adoption of orange-fleshed sweet potatoes and growing of disease-free cassava. It is in this vein that Mutanda Research Station held a field day for cassava and sweet potatoes in Ikelenge district of Northwestern Province.
Roots and Trigger Team Department. We had set up a demonstration here in Ikelenge district. The main objective was to promote crop diversification to the farmers through the growing of the orange-fleshed cassava varieties, which are high in nutrition content, and these same varieties are high yielding and they are early maturing. In 2 months' time, a farmer will be able to eat something from these varieties.
Government has mandated agriculture research institutes to embark on a nationwide soil testing and mapping in order to come up with a national soil map and make fertilizer recommendation for each soil type.
ZARI embarking on a nationwide soil testing and mapping in order to come up with national soil map and make fertilizer recommendation for each soil type. Effects of climate change is there for everyone to see, to adapt to new and smart agriculture technologies if we are to remain productive.
For NAIS, I'm Emmanuel Akatama in Ikelenge.
Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena has called on the Nangwenya Community Welfare Assistance Committee to stop the identification of beneficiaries under the Food for Work program. Mr. Mabena says this is as a result of the CWAC not following the procedure for the Food for Work program under the Relief Maize exercise. Zanis reports that Mr. Mabena made the call during a meeting where community members complained against the CWAC in the area for not circulating the information on the Food for Work program under the Relief Maize from the government. The district commissioner said the Relief Maize is meant for every Zambian and information on the program should be disseminated to everyone. Mr. Mabena challenged the Pastors Fellowship chairperson, Vesalem Balemba, to step aside for not following the guidelines in the memorandum of understanding signed between them and the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, in the release of Relief Maize to the beneficiaries. And that particular story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news when we come back. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. We as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. And now in international news. South Africa's African National Congress Party will not consider any demands from possible coalition partners that President Cyril Ramaphosa steps down, a top official said Sunday, as the ANC attempted to present a united front after a stinging election result ended its 30-year majority. As South Africa heads for a series of complex talks to form a national coalition government for the first time and establish stability, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula said Ramaphosa would remain as party leader, and any demands from others that he resign for talks to go ahead was a non-go area. President Ramaphosa is the president of the ANC, Mbalula said in the ANC leadership's first public comments since the landmark elections. Here is a roundup of international news.
South Africa seems to be heading for a coalition government for the first time since it gained independence in 1994. ANC seems to be warming up for another party to join its rank, with the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula warning that they will not take certain demands.
Ramaphosa is the president of the ANC, and if you come to us with those demands, forget it. If you come to us with a demand that Ramaphosa must step down as a president, that is not going to happen. We've got no such mandate. We are not going to engage with political parties on the basis that we don't want to talk to Soros. We're not going to do that.
The ANC received just over 40% of votes, falling well short of the majority it has held for all of South Africa's young democracy. It will still be the biggest party by some way.
The African National Congress commends the people of South Africa for once again demonstrating the strength and vibrancy of our democracy. While we still await the formal announcement of results by the IEC, it is clear that the ANC has won most votes and remains the most popular party in South Africa.
ANC has experienced a decline of support by its previous members given its track record in South Africa that has been coupled with issues like unemployment, inflation and power blackouts.
We wish to assure the people of South Africa that we have heard them. We have heard their concerns, their frustrations and their dissatisfaction. Over the last 6 years, the ANC has been engaged in a process of renewal and revitalization. This process is not yet complete, and the election results show that we need to intensify and accelerate the fundamental renewal of our movement.
The ANC has many options for coalition partners among South Africa's other parties, including one of its main opposition, Democratic Alliance, which won 21% of votes. A charity group in Uganda by the name Atta Breast Milk Community helps supply safe, clean breast milk to women who cannot produce their own. Among the beneficiaries, Caroline Ikendi, a Ugandan woman who has been warned by a doctor that one of her preterm babies had 2% chance of living and needed breast milk for their survival.
I even didn't know that breast milk can actually be kept for that long. I didn't know that you can give out breast milk. I didn't know, because the first time I had it in the hospital, and they were like, since you don't have breast milk, we are going to get it from someone else. I'm like, how? No, people do alcohol, people have different diseases. What if my babies get what? Yeah, so when Atta came in and they were providing the breast milk from whoever mother, I was like, Banag. So this is real.
The group was founded by a woman whose baby died after a complicated childbirth. She started lactating and decided she would donate her milk to women with babies who could benefit.
The one thing I'll tell you which keeps me going, when you wake up and you have a message from a mother, these are your babies. You know, that's a celebration for the whole team. You see babies you took care of when they were, you gave milk when they were, say, 500 or 700 grams, and they are 1 year, they are 2 years. That is a celebration for us. Those are the things which keep us moving.
Since the launch, more than 200 mothers have donated breast milk to support over 450 babies. According to Atta's record, 600 liters of milk have been delivered to babies in need during that entire period. The group receives calls from hospitals and homes with babies born too soon or too sick to latch onto their mother's breasts.
A mom who reached out to me through a friend of mine,
She had triplets, and unfortunately one passed away. And she, through that depression, crying and everything, her body stopped producing milk. They reached out to me. They were like, "We know you donate milk, but can you please help us?" So I did help them. I even directed them to ATA. And now the babies are doing okay, and she always sends me a Mother's Day cake on Mother's Day. So she thanks me every day.
The group says they get more requests for support than it can now meet. Cooking over open fires in Morocco's park is a popular way to spend a day out with the family, but the consequences can be devastating. Now, a new campaign is underway in Kenitra to educate visitors on the dangers of forest fires. The 150-hectare park regularly attracts between 5,000 to 10,000 visitors per day, with the majority bringing a meal to cook in the open air. The first problem that we counter in this park is fire, especially during the summer seasons. We have a problem, usually with the first-time visitors who bring in their raw food here to cook it. When they arrive at the park, the first thing they do is that they dig holes and light fires, and this is one of the dangers that threaten the trees. Moroccan forests are extremely flammable during the summer season because of the increase in temperatures, the reduction in air humidity, and the onset of dry and hot winds. Just one moment of human carelessness could start a blaze that could destroy large areas of forest. If I visit another forest and meet someone lighting a fire next to a tree, I will advise him not to do it so that he will not harm the tree and himself. We have to protect the forest because it's our mother. Major Bilal El Yakubi, head of Kenitra Zone for Forest Development, says technology and experience has helped reduce the impact of forest fires in the country. We rely on sophisticated means and methods to combat forest fires, among them drones that help us find exactly the source of the fires on top of the fleet of Canadair planes. We have the training as well as the experience gained from the previous blazes. All these factors help Morocco to be successful in fighting fires and reduce the scope of damaged areas. According to the National Agency for Water and Forestry, 466 fires were recorded in 2023, affecting 6,426 hectares, while the area burned in the previous year reached over 22,760 hectares.
And finally, in sports news this evening, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, in Northern Province has successfully held its annual awards gala, presenting 38 accolades to different sports personalities. Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu held the various winners that included promising referee Jacinta Makasa, who just returned from Zanzibar from the CAF African Schools, MONGU Hotspurs player Christopher Kajila, who was part of Zambia under-15 team that went to Morocco, and Teresa Nayame, who has been part of Zambia under-17 girls team. Other notable winners are Malolo Police and Northern Province provincial coach Augustine Kabwe, who was best coach of the season with CAF C holder, and MONGU Hotspurs girls head coach Violet Kasaji, who is also part of the provincial women's technical bench and was best female coach of the season. Recently, badged FIFA referee Anesta Bwadia was best central referee female, with Mporokoso-based physiotherapist Matthews Mwenya being named as best central referee male. Malolo Police FC and Chitapankwa Youth Academy won the team of the season, men and female respectively. The permanent secretary, who was represented by Assistant Secretary Jordan Mwenya, urged the winners never to relent in striving for excellency And first provincial chairperson Mwansaka Pyanga said the awards were a platform to encourage athletes in the province to aspire for excellency. And that sports item brings us to the end of this evening's edition of Camnet TV News. But before we go, a quick recap of stories that made headlines. Fire raises 7 shops at Green Market in MONGU district. President HICHILEMA urged to take lead in promoting peace. UPND condemns attacks on ZESCO MD engineer MAPANI. And in international news, ANC says RAMAPHOSA will not step down for the sake of a coalition. In sports, FAR's Northern Province awards GALA honors 38 sports personalities. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 14, and it reads, "Do everything in love." That concludes this edition of the main news. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.